Hello.
Hello, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Sure, it's not quite over there. Oh, I should probably turn my light. You can see me. Yeah, Cirrus is 8. He'll be in when he's in. But it sounded like it was going to be late enough that I'm like, I'm not holding up stream for that. Oh, I look like my levels are low. Goes up a little. Hello, hello, hello. That looks a little on the crunchy side. So down a little. Hello, hello. What happened to the hold music? What happened to the hold music was I was getting emails. Okay, here's Cirrus. I was getting emails every couple weeks, or actually several times a week, telling me that, like, hey, your video's been copyright claimed. This doesn't affect your channel. It's not a strike, but you can't monetize the video. And it was like literally every one of my live streams was getting that, and it ended up being the countdown that I was using. Whatever company was doing that seems to have let up. Like, all the things that it said was not monetized are all currently monetized. But I decided to swap out the music and video for the sake of safety. And
Speaking of video, I can't see any.
Yeah, no, that's because I don't have my virtual camera on.
Oh, there we go. Now
Hi.
I can see things. Oh wow, I am to the right of where I was earlier. That's not how I want my social progression to go. Let me move a little closer to the middle there. Now I'm a Democrat.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, Cirrus, I'm glad you finally made it, because it would have been very embarrassing for you to miss this episode, because I have a special announcement to make.
Is the announcement that you and I, or you know?
No, I don't know. What
Oh, okay. Then I guess you're not announcing it. Anyway, continue.
I don't know what you're announcing. No, my announcement.
I was hoping you knew.
Well, we're fucking okay. No, my announcement is I decided that I as a content creator, as Vice Rhino, I have instituted the Vice Rhino Peace Prize, and I'm proud to announce
Oh
that,
my god,
Cirrus, you're the winner of the first annual. Oh, it's right in your face. God damn it!
I am the winner of the first annual Peace.
You're the winner of the first annual, or the inaugural Peace Prize.
Is
There
this
we go.
Is this
And
because the president of the United States made up his own Peace Prize for himself?
No, do you not hear about that?
I mean, I did hear about it. Like, okay, so I have not read anything on it specifically.
It was the FIFA Peace Prize. It was FIFA.
Oh.
FIFA decided they were going to create a Peace Prize just for him. And then did you see the pictures?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, it was so okay. We gotta watch the video. God damn it! I assumed that you were going to be up to date with this, otherwise I would have pulled the clip.
Oh no, I haven't even been able to stream. I had a full-on breakdown yesterday.
Oh, who cares about streaming? It's been all over everything. Let's see. That's the New York Times. Are they gonna? Come on, I just want the video. Please tell me someone. Okay, there we go. It's on X.com.
Oh.
Is that the actual video? No, that's just a fucking picture. God damn it! I want the video. Where's the video?
Struggling.
It's so worth it though. Well, let's just do stills for now.
Okay.
Because the stills are in some ways kind of funny. Oh, come on. How come? Thank you for resubscribing, Fennec the Rabbit. Oh, maybe I need to put FIFA in the thing. What the how are these? Like, there's a picture of him holding a menorah. Okay. I don't know why this is not coming up. Has Trump scrubbed the internet?
I doubt he has that kind of power right now.
Yeah, no, I'm going to blame DuckDuckGo, because that was my default search. Yeah, there we go. Google is much better. A sentence that you don't say very often anymore. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. We got that.
He looks like a little kid.
Yeah. Oh, no, you can't see his... Yeah, okay. need to adjust my
I've been
crop.
given the FIFA Peace Prize.
Adjust my crop. This is going to mess us up when we do. But like look at that. He's like a little gremlin grabbing his Peace Prize.
He does look like a freaking gremlin.
Sticking it on his head himself. Like it's not like they didn't have anyone there to put it on him, on his neck, like you're supposed to do with prizes. He just couldn't wait for that, so he grabbed it and threw it on his face. Because he's a child.
Razor, thank you for resubscribing. Yeah, he just looks like a kid.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous.
Oh whoa.
Yeah, so I was kind of shocked that you hadn't heard. Okay, now I need to get a preview of the articles before we actually start talking about them.
Whoa.
There we go. But yeah, that's why you have a medal.
Hip hip hooray.
Oh,
I'm so excited that you made up this medal for me specifically.
And I was so distracted at giving you your medal that I missed that I have a hype train right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you,
I'm glad
Clueless
you have a hype
Expert, for
train
giving
right
out
now.
5 community subs. Thank you, Fennec resubscribed. My own and Stankfoot resubscribed. And then the last one was Sean's hats from last week. So yeah, thank you everybody for helping me get a hype train while I was distracted explaining to Cirrus why I gave him a prize.
I mean, you have ADHD. The hype is distracting.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just it was I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's just it's got to be embarrassing to be an American right now.
It is. It is.
Yeah, cuz like I can't imagine my head of state being such a petulant child that you know, like organizations know that like, oh, if I want him to be nice to me, I just have to like give him a little a participation trophy. It's literally a participation trophy. The party that like complains about participation trophies are showering this man with participation trophies to keep his ego in check.
I mean, okay, so I can imagine having a leader that does that because I am American.
True. I have a head of state that stays mostly out of the news. I mean, he's in it
sounds
sometimes.
fantastic.
He's not amazing, but like, I'll take not amazing over what you guys got.
Yeah.
Thank you for Chief Burbs for subscribing with Prime, whatever that means. I assume that's a Twitch thing.
It's the same thing as subscribing normally. You get the same amount of money, but they didn't pay any money. They just get a free Prime sub they're allowed to throw at somebody if they have Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me Amazon's money.
We call them Bezos bucks.
Yeah. Took it right out of Bezos' pocket and put it into mine.
Pretty much.
I mean, not really. If that was
It's as
actually,
close
if
to
that
that-
was actually, if that was actually how it worked, that wouldn't be a thing. Have you met billionaires? No, you haven't, because you're a peon or peon. What's the word? Is peon
Peasant?
the right word? Peasant. Sure. I think peon.
I
is
feel
an
like I'm a
acceptable word as
pleasant.
well. Yeah. No. No. Okay. So yeah, how you been? You had a
Well,
breakdown yesterday.
I have a peace prize now, so I think I'm doing pretty fantastic. No, yesterday
and
was
it's every bit as valuable as the one the president got.
So, okay, the context for that is I've started a new schedule for getting content made. And in setting up that schedule, I am overwhelming myself. But at the same time, I don't have very many choices on whether or not to do that because this is my job. So, like, anytime somebody goes, hey, you don't have to produce so much content, we'll be fine. I'm like, it's not you I'm worried about, audience.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the words of encouragement.
I get those as well sometimes. It's like, yeah, I appreciate the sentiment, but I got bills to pay.
So right now I have it set up where every day there's 2 videos that go out on the news channel. They're usually, taken from live stream like usual. I'm doing fully edited content again, which is something that I had moved away from years ago. But because no matter what angle I take for repurposing live content for the main channel, the subscriber numbers were still dipping, and I got into negative numbers this last month, and that terrified the shit out of me. So I said,
too.
Yep. So I said, what?
I blame my fundraiser, though.
I said, I bet there is something I'm not giving my audience that they obviously want. Because usually when your numbers are hurting, it's either an algorithm fuck up or a you fuck up. And I can't control an algorithm fuck up, so I'm just going to operate under that's a me fuck up. So I decided to start doing fully edited content again and put it on the main channel, because I was already doing a split where video responses would go on the main channel and news would go on a second channel anyway, just to try to smooth out subscriber loss that I was dealing with before. If a group of people want to see a certain kind of content, they can go to the channel that has that content. And I'm starting to actually see positive subscriber growth again on the main channel after changing things over, and people seem to really be liking the edited content. But this means that my production schedule is a video a day on the edited channel, 2 videos a day on the news channel, and then a Magic the Gathering video every weekday.
Have you tried using the Illuminati method?
Oh, outsourcing everything and lying about it?
Just read Wikipedia and say that you did the research.
I won't do that, because on the edited videos I've been linking my sources. So I feel like I would be called out very quickly if I did that.
Spoonbill Adam says, speaking of our head of state, have you heard about the bill being passed removing the sincerely held beliefs exemption from hate speech in Canada? If your wording there means what I think it means, that you can no longer get away with hate speech because it's something that you sincerely believe, then that's a good thing. And I am for it.
I feel like the sincerely held belief thing is always a scapegoat. It's a thing to point the finger at and go, no, but it's my sincerely held belief. But like, every time you believe something stupid,
you're asking the courts to adjudicate sincerity, and that's not something that they should do.
Oh, I'm not even concerned about that one. My concern is simply, yes, of course we fucking are talking about this. I believe you sincerely believe it. That's the fucking problem, Kevin. I didn't call you a racist because I think you're not racist.
Then
that's not why I did that.
Duct Tape Jake says, behind the scenes question, if someone rewatches an old video, does that give you guys the same money as a new video? Yes, it does.
And yes and no.
So I was going to say yes, and it gives you a little bitty boost in the algorithm because it's more likely to recommend more of your videos to the person watching the old video, so they're more likely to watch more of your stuff, so it kind of snowballs into a little bit more money. What were you going to say?
My yes and no is that, does it give the same amount of money? Yes, but it gives more because it is rewatching older content. It is doing what you said. Like, okay, the answer is,
it sounded like your and was going to, or your follow up was going to be yes, but it does something else that takes money away, so it's not as good.
No.
Okay.
It's always better to watch a video in the first day that it comes out. That's just a universal truth of YouTube, has been for years. Second to that, rewatching old content or watching old content for the first time is incredibly helpful as well, and creates a different kind of snowball effect. When you're watching a new video, you can snowball that video and help it perform better in the algorithm. When you're watching older content, you can snowball playlists, you can snowball stuff like that. Does it provide the same amount of money? No, it provides more because the assumption is you're going to be watching more than one video.
Yeah, that's why I make it a point to include at least one card to a different video in pretty much all of my videos. So like it's not just that I so happen to already have dealt with this, so I'm going to reference that video. It is, I am purposely referencing an old video with the hopes that people are going to go click on it, and then the algorithm would be like, oh, these people like Vice Rhino, so I'm going to show more of his stuff.
I just responded to a Reddit thing about content creators in the Magic the Gathering space specifically in regards to this, where dude on Reddit was saying Soul Ring is one of the strongest cards that Magic has, period. And it's in every pre-constructed deck. Everybody has access to one. So why do content creators keep telling me to cut it out of my deck? And I'm like, well, there's two reasons for that. One, a lot of us think for game balance reasons the card shouldn't be here. And Wizards agrees. They just said that they won't. For two, though, it got you talking. If you want to know why content creators said a controversial thing, it is because you are talking about it right now.
I had a video a couple weeks ago that Piper did a typo in the thumbnail, and I didn't notice, so I just uploaded it. Then when we did notice it, I just left it for like 2 days. Like, you know what? People are commenting about the typo, so I'm just going to leave the typo.
Yeah, it's engagement. You let it stay there. You let it do its thing. Like, a lot of us, it's on the one hand, it feels kind of predatory to me to do that kind of like psychological manipulation to people. But on the other hand, it is part and parcel to the job, and there isn't a harm that comes from mispronouncing a word on purpose, for instance, so that people will respond to you saying doing instead of doing that day. Like you don't actively cause harm in doing so, and not doing so could be the difference between being able to afford potatoes today.
Well, I had a fun one on my video from, I think it was last week, where like the guy was responding to. It sounded like he was using a really bad text to speech generator, but there was enough. There were enough inconsistencies in it that I think it was actually him, and that's just how he talks.
Mm-hmm.
But like there were a lot of weird mispronunciations that you would expect from a text-to-speech generation, including things like the misspelled this name or whatever. And then like one of the things he said was like, oh, there are no transitional fossils. So like I rattled off a few that I have memorized, and then I was like, and I can expand on these. And so I added in, like I did a little bit of Googling and added in the little blanks in there. And I did not look up how to pronounce any of those things. At the end of it, it was like, fuck it. This guy can't pronounce shit. So like, whatever, deal with it.
Why should I?
It's funnier if I don't pronounce it right this time. And I got comments from people being like, it would have been so easy for you to Google. I'm like, yeah, I know. I actively decided not to this time. Yes, Lamorak.
And there's...
He was talking about Jean-Baptiste Lamorak, who you probably know as Lamarck from Lamarckian Evolution.
Lamorakian Evolution.
Lamorak, yeah.
Sounds like a fucking god from RuneScape.
You're not the first person to say something. A lot of people were saying they're going to make it a D&D villain.
I mean, like the god of evil in RuneScape's name is Zamorak. That's literally one letter away.
All right. And then there were other people commenting like, oh no, it is a text-to-speech thing because he says some things the American way and some things the British way. Like, yeah, but if you... I looked the guy up. He was born and raised in Wales, and then he moved to the States and has been living there for like 15 years. So like that actually tracks with how someone that has had that life experience might actually do those things. So, yeah. Anyway. So you want to get to the news and find out another reason why I'm not coming to the States anytime soon?
Yeah, why not? Let's get to it.
Apparently it's becoming official policy now that I'm going to be checking tourists' social media.
Why?
Into the country. Well, because we can't have any anti-Trump sentiment coming into the country.
God, it's almost like 0.6 of Umberto Eco's arguments about what a fascist is the fear of different opinions. Weird. I keep having to reference that essay over and over and over again for the edited videos, and it's getting very tiresome.
It's a good essay. Very prescient. Actually, I know I ask this semi-regularly, and the answer is always no, but I'm going to ask anyway. Have you seen the Some Nor News video today?
No.
It's about George W. Bush and the things that he did while he was president. He was Trump. They're the same guy. Like, right down to the excuses that Trump is using for Venezuela right now.
The difference is Trump has a media machine that is backing him up, and everybody made fun of Bush all the time.
Yeah, but making fun of Bush actually kind of empowered him a little, because
he got to do things like write off the WMDs afterwards, because he'd go, "Yeah, we're still looking for him. They're there somewhere." Everybody just laughed at him.
Yeah, no,
yeah, you old Bush.
He's a lovable goofball. He's a lovable goofball doing war crimes. And so like, because he comes off as like this folksy goofball, he got away with a lot of stuff that, you know, he probably wouldn't have if he was anyone else. But yeah. Anyway, good video. Highly recommend it. So then we get so the potential social media mandate being proposed by the Customs and Border Protection would apply to anyone visiting, whether they require a visa or not. So this article is written from a British perspective. I don't know if this would apply to the Canadian border. The way it's worded certainly sounds like it would. And
I mean, y'all are just snow Mexicans. It's going to apply to you.
Yeah. So I don't know, that's the thing, is like it's like the tourism numbers from Canada to the States are down by a lot. And there are tourist dependent places in the States that are not doing well because of that. Our snowbirds, the people that go and live in the States for 6 months out of the year, are looking for other places or just staying in Canada. So like, I don't see how, like, hey, we gotta look through all your we gotta look through your phone to see what you've been posting on social media is going to help with that. Fennec is saying down almost 40%. Actually, I don't remember the number, and I trust you, Fennec, but at the end of the day, you are some guy in the chat, and some guy in the chat is not a good source, even if it's Fennec.
Even if it's Fennec.
Yeah, I guess people are saying it's 5 years of social media. Yeah, no, it's more than that. So it will be mandatory to hand over the information and other details, including email addresses, telephone numbers used in the last 5 years, as well as the names, addresses, numbers, and birthdays of family members.
Why?
I don't know. Like, oh, we were going to let you in, but then we found out that your sister was born on April 17th.
Your brother's a Gemini, and I don't like those vibes. Get out of my country.
Yeah. Exactly. My baubles are falling out of my beard. My beard baubles.
I prefer Wayfarer's baubles.
Yeah, but sometimes they're a child. And children are gross, so I don't want them. Although those ones are usually like $10,000, so I don't ever have to worry about buying that.
Razor points out that he feels trapped right now. I mean, yeah, you kind of would be right now.
Some guy in the chat is trustworthy if they say, "Trust me, bro." Absolutely.
They have to say, "Source, trust me, bro."
Source, trust me, bro. Yeah. Well, Fennec also emails a bunch of news articles for me. Sources, damn it. I know you do, Fennec. You're the one that's always posting links in the chat, and then I have to go like click on it and get distracted in the middle of the stream. Yeah, so there have been several reports of travelers already having been denied entry into the U.S. over social media posts and messages found on their personal devices after President Trump took office in January. So, like, the people that had, like, the J.D. Vance meme on their phone that got denied. There's a French scientist who had, like, private messages that didn't like Trump. That they were like, nope, go away. So now I know that constitutional amendments, strictly speaking, only apply to citizens. Or well, no, because there's more to it than that. There's
stuff that protects you just for being in the United States. That's part of our Constitution.
But this feels like one of those things where, like, they talk about freedom of speech all the time, and this is just blatant. You can have freedom of speech as long as you only use it to praise dear leader.
And you can have a Model T in any color you want, so long as that color is black.
Knowing what we know of Henry Ford now, I
Mhm.
feel like it's weird that he went with black. I feel like he wouldn't like black.
No, he only likes black with a hard B.
Uh,
Have you seen that? Have you seen that skit of the
No.
three-headed black monster?
no, I don't think I have.
It's a monster with two heads that are black people and one head that's a white person, and each one of them says a word in turn. So they'll just go like, "We are the three-headed black monster." It's always the white one that emphasizes how black they are. Turns out, in the genetic makeup of the monster, the white head can look down and see that the two heads under him are black, but the two heads under him can't look up, so they can't see that the third head isn't black. So all the context for all of them is that they're all black. The entire skit is about introducing the monster to a mirror.
Okay. I mean, I saw a skit that aired on This Hour Has 22 Minutes, which is a Canadian comedy show, where they were doing a parody of the American press conferences right now. It was pretty good. And I'm not going to play it because we'll get copyright struck for sure.
Nah.
But,
Fantastic.
yeah, look it up at some point. This Hour Has 22 Minutes. I don't know what it would be called. I saw it on Brian Tyler Cohen's account, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys behind Chorus.
Chorus? Oh, the
so I don't particularly care for Brian Tyler Cohen anymore. But
because Chorus was the big funding thing where they were like, let's pay the lefties to not disparage Israel today.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, he's the one who started it, apparently. Source, some guy in chat. Jassa this time. I don't trust that Jassa motherfucker. Fennec's okay, but Jassa? Too many hats coming from that one.
Yeah, Jassa's name is Jassa Proxy, and I don't like proxies in my Magic the Gathering games, so I don't trust them.
Justin, be nice. What are you going to do? Ban me? Thank you, Stoff. I will wet myself.
I hope Stoff is happy that in today's edited video, their porn art got featured for the first time. Fully. Not fully.
I was going to say, was it censored?
So I used camera angles on different parts of the video, because otherwise the whole video would get banned. And my account would be banned.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about Senator Tom Cotton.
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear about Senator Tim Apple.
Senator Tom Cotton says survivors of 1st September boat strike were not incapacitated. So I'm sure you've heard. I was sure that you were aware of the FIFA medal, so I'm not going to assume things anymore. Have you heard about this second tap strike thing?
I did. I was actually in the gym watching it on Fox News while I was on the treadmill.
Fox News actually covered it?
The double tap? They were fucking celebrating it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
They were celebrating it. Then Asmongold took the coverage and talked about it on his channel, and he was celebrating it.
Is Asmongold the one that like brags about not brushing his teeth to the point where his gums are all bloody?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine that being the thing that you're known for.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah. So I do want to address some of the discourse that's been springing up around this. I've seen a lot of people being like, it's not a war crime, it's straight up murder. And yes, I get that.
But it's also still a war crime.
I mean, but there's no war, so it's not a war crime, it's just murder. But the thing is, like, even if that is technically true, I feel like the reason we're focusing on it being a war crime is because that's actually worse than murder. That is like we are in a situation where society has agreed that it is acceptable for people to have guns and shoot at each other with the intention of killing the other ones. And even for that situation, you did something really fucked up. Because, like, ordinarily, you give a bunch of people guns and tell them to shoot each other. They're either going to say no, or a bunch of people are going to get arrested. But if you do the same thing after your country declares war on the other people's country, then suddenly it's socially acceptable to just straight up murder people. Like, I would say that war is murder. But, yeah, no, to call it a war crime is to say that, like, this is something that even when we have agreed that this really heinous and immoral activity is okay, it's still beyond the pale. So, yeah, not technically a war crime because there's no war. That doesn't make it better. It's still fucking bad. It's atrocious.
It doesn't make it better at all. It might even make it a little worse because now you have even fewer excuses for doing it.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's hard to. I'm having difficulty articulating my thoughts on this. I feel like it's okay to call it a war crime because that emphasizes just how heinous and immoral it is.
I think Reddit has poisoned people's brains. Like, and I'm not saying that as in just like Reddit, the website, is bad. It's not. But there's a type of discourse that always boils down to semantics instead of like actual content that seems to come from places like Twitter and Reddit and places like that, where they'll just be like, you didn't use the most accurate word you could have used. Now I'm angry. That feels like that. But like when I say the word war crime, yeah, maybe on some weird technicality, it's not technically a super duper war crime. Maybe, sure, what the fuck ever. The broader point of why we're using the word is that this is what it describes. This is a feeling it describes.
Yeah, but anyway, the thing that Tom Cotton said that everybody's kind of latching on to is that he was like, oh, they were trying to flip the boat over so that they could carry on in the fight. Like, no, they were...
The fight against who?
Against the United States.
They were just a fucking boat at that point, though. Who were they fighting? Who was the combatant?
No, it was a capsized boat. So they were trying to flip over the capsized boat so that they could continue the fight. Not just because when you're in a boat that capsizes, that's the thing that you do to not die. Like, have you ever been canoeing or kayaking?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever capsized your canoe or kayak?
Nope.
No? Oh, really? That's like one of the first things you do when you're a kid in a canoe.
Right, but I was in a canoe with other people with an instructor at a camp.
That makes it more fun. I was too. If you can get the instructor wet, you win.
Oh my god. We are different people, I can tell.
But that's camp, though. How can you be canoeing at a camp and not capsize your canoe? You missed out
by not doing it?
You missed out as a child.
I don't think I did.
Okay. Hypothetically, let's say you're in your canoe.
All right, Shapiro. Hypothetically, for the sake of argument, you're in a canoe.
I'm rescinding that peace prize.
Okay. I agree.
Thank you for the hat, clueless expert. So yeah, you're in your canoe. It flips over. What's the first thing you do?
You try to flip it back over.
No, you stand up because it was shallow water.
All right. I'd like you to cease. You omitted information so as to do a gotcha. I do not rescind my Shapiro moniker. Now, if we're going to use Daily Wire
I can't
tactics,
be Shapiro. I got wet.
No, Shapiro gets wet all the time. It's his wife that's
I got the instructor wet.
Yeah, his wife was the instructor about how vaginas work to him. I'd say she was a poor instructor, but that family makes a lot of money.
Why do they make a lot of money?
Because they have a media empire.
Seriously, we could make so much money if we just turned into bad guys.
I feel like we couldn't, actually. So, like, I feel like we could in a world where there were not so many grifters doing the same thing.
But there's always space in the grift.
Yeah, but Okay, so I was doing a video response to a dude named Words of Paradise who started out as a Magic the Gathering channel and then became an anti-woke politics channel because of something trans people. And he had the exact same setup as the quartering. Like everything of his was set up to mirror that person's journey and everything. Because that's what quartering did. Quartering started out as a Magic the Gathering channel, got banned for sexually harassing a cosplayer at Magic events. So he got banned from all future Magic events and then transitioned into anti-woke politics. That was his journey. So watching a small creator at like the fucking 2000 subscriber size trying to mirror the exact journey that Jeremy went through, I'm like, I feel like if we did that, that would be us.
But did he piss himself in the basement?
That's for a later chapter. You have to get mad that your wife got pizza. You have to get mad that your wife got pizza without you first. And then like once you get to that point, I mean, you have to know the touch of a woman.
I like the touch. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I feel like we have a better starting point because part of turning right is turning Christian. So we both have the atheist to Christian thing as well as the lefty to righty thing.
I saw the light. I was spending my time bashing in the heads of family members with a ball-peen hammer and lusting after children. But now God has fixed me.
I was not going to bring them into this. But yeah, no, you could do the circuit of like interviews with the Christian YouTube channels and then you start giving talks and charging for it.
Yeah.
And like there aren't a lot of legit atheist to Christian conversions where like there is actual evidence of the person being an atheist. It's all like J. Warner Wallace or trust me, bro, I was totally an atheist back in the time before the internet. You know, and in a way that my story doesn't match up timeline-wise with publicly available information.
I was an atheist in my heart, actually, because I was part of a different congregation of...
Yeah, no, so many of the atheist to Christian stories, when you dig into them, it's like, oh, you just went for your first altar call when you were 12, and you call your life before that your atheist phase. Okay, that's not really how it works.
I was an atheist for 12 years!
But, like, we both have enough of a YouTube history where it's like, you can see that I was a staunch atheist by just looking at these videos that I had. And now I'm a believer. I finally saw the Kalam cosmological argument with my heart instead of with my brain.
Man, it's wild to me that Milo Indianapolis still exists. Because he's doing that grift right now, where he's like, now he's a Christian, now he's not gay, and he's making the claims of like, well, nobody's actually gay. Like, there's no such thing as a person being gay. It's wild.
I'm not gay, I just like to suck the occasional dick.
Not gay, I just like sucking dick. I don't know why I changed the nationality of Milo, but, you know.
Well, who cares? Anyway. Yeah, no, not really much to say about Tom Cotton, but as long as we are saying about, you know, like the thing that makes me say that there's lots of room still on the right for new grifters. Have you heard about Samantha Fullnecki?
Yes, I have. Never go Fullnecki.
That's our next story.
So this one's going to be fun for me because I've already read through her whole essay and did a video on it.
I haven't done a video on it, but I read the essay. I didn't intend on reading the whole essay here.
There's not much there.
I assume you sent it to me. I don't know. Everybody's seen the story. Yeah, Forrest did a great video on it too. Yeah, Forrest gave her a grade. I clicked on a thing.
I didn't see Forrest's video because when I did my video, I didn't want to have his video in the back of my mind because I knew he was going to make a better one anyway.
Yeah, I I do that too. A couple weeks ago I responded to a video that I know that Forrest has responded to, and I purposely didn't watch his video until after I recorded and everything. And then I watched his video and was like, oh, I said a lot of the exact same things that he already said. People are going to think I'm copying him. And then what was funny was I got a bunch of people commenting me like, I'm getting deja vu with this one. Have you covered this video before? Like, no, I haven't.
It was somebody else.
No, that actually made me feel good because Forrest is really good. So the fact that him and I said a bunch of the same things makes me feel like I didn't miss a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, if you are somehow unfamiliar with the story, basically, Samantha Fulnecki was given, like, her class was given a paper. It was. I've been trying to find the actual paper that they were asked to reply to, but I haven't been able to find it. There are a few papers that it could be, but basically it's about like the impact of gender norms on bullying. Like, do you get bullied more if you adhere to gender norms or if you are a gender nonconformist?
Well,
and I don't know what study they were looking at. Most of the studies that I read while I was looking for it basically came back being like, the social pressure is actually to maintain gender norms, not to
go against them. So when I was looking at her paper, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was that I couldn't tell what the fuck paper she read because she never referenced anything it said. She mentioned that she read the paper and it made her think, but she didn't do anything other than that.
So that was one of the things that Forrest did, was he counted how many times she actually referenced the paper she was supposed to be responding to. It was twice. There were 2 sentences in the whole thing that had anything to do with the paper she was supposed to be replying to. Let's see. Oh yeah, so here's the thing here. Says the failing grade she received on an essay where she cited the Bible was a violation of her right of free speech. She didn't cite jack shit.
No, she didn't cite the Bible at all. There was a part where she said, in Genesis, the Bible says, but she never quoted what the Bible says.
That would be a good spot for a citation.
She didn't say what verse it was. She did nothing. She did nothing that you would need to do in order to make that claim.
Yeah. Also, her mother is a lawyer for one of those right-wing organizations.
Her mother also, like, the mayor of her fucking town had to, like, go on public record and start correcting a bunch of the lies that her mom had been spreading.
Yeah, her mother is a lawyer who defended January 6ers. So
this is a family of people who do the conservative grift for a living.
Yes. But, like, what drives me nuts is that, like, okay, everything about this drives me nuts. So it's a violation of her right to free speech. No, it isn't. Your right to free speech is that the government can't stop you from expressing your opinion or whatever. It is not, you must get a good grade for saying Jesus is the answer to your question. That is not a First Amendment thing. If you go to math class and say 1 + 1 = Jesus,
you will get failed out of the class. And Turning Point USA.
You have the First Amendment right to get out there on the street corner and say 1 + 1 = Jesus to your heart's content. You will never be arrested for that as long as you're not breaking other laws. But if you write it on a math test, you're not going to get credit for that. And that is not a violation of your free speech.
Yep.
But that said, the fucking school, so they suspended, or they put the teacher on administrative leave, not the teacher's assistant, I think it was, the TA, who was trans, by the way. I feel like this is relevant because that kind of changes the context of this. It goes from her just, like, deciding to write about Jesus for no particular reason to, because the study that she was referring to, as far as I could tell, didn't actually have anything to do with trans people. It was just, do people experience more bullying if they are gender conforming or gender non-conforming? So, like, a tomboy girl who is cis and identifies as a girl would
she's gonna get teased for that.
She's gonna be teased for having her short hair and not wearing girly clothes or whatever. Like that's what that is. That's it has like it can be related to trans people. It certainly can be related to the trans experience where like where people are saying like, oh, it's just a social contagion. They're doing what's popular, which she said in her fucking essay. Which,
yeah, she used the social contagion thing.
So like that's as close as it can get to being related to trans people. It was like other than that, it was just like about bullying. So she decided to write an essay that had nothing to even do with the fucking paper, with the trans TA that she was that was in her class. So like it feels more like a targeted attack with that information. So like it wasn't just her giving her opinion, it was her wanting to take this other person down a notch. And so not only did the TA get put on administrative leave, but the language around this is such that I might be interpreting it wrong, but my understanding is that even though she got a 0 on this paper, that will not impact her final grade.
I'm going to be honest. Even if they didn't change, do you know what this was worth for her class, right?
3%.
You know, it was 3%. So when they go like the big victory is that this won't be worth her final grade, it was 3 fucking percent. That was the amount of points that I would ignore when I was in school.
Yeah.
Fuck 3%. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but still, the fact that she, like, they're saying it's not going to impact her final grade. Like that's just. You just put that on top of all this, like, oh, I'm being persecuted. By what? You didn't do the assignment, and now you're basically getting full credit for it.
Yep.
How is that being persecuted?
And you know what that tells people in the future? It tells them that they don't have to do their work. It tells them they can get a participation trophy and just do that.
I guarantee you can find this girl complaining about DEI and how people have to lower standards to let all these DEI hires in. But like, what do you call what you just did? They just had to lower the standards so that your non-answer to the question could count as passing. They literally lowered the standards for you because you cried about it.
Because you were too stupid.
Yeah. So, yeah. She's an idiot.
Yeah, never go full necky.
Never go full necky. We keep skirting really close to that word in the stream.
What's up?
There's a word that usually never go full.
Yeah, but you can just say never go full idiot, never go full stupid, never go full Kirk.
Yeah, but that's not the quote.
I don't care what the original quote was, and apparently neither did Samantha.
I'm just saying we keep skirting close to that, and it's annoying to me because I have so many times when I'm scrolling Twitter, I get to a tweet and I'm like, oh, this is going to be juicy to talk about, and then it just uses that word, and I'm just like, I don't want to read that. Bye.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the way I'm saying that, it sounds like I'm like, oh, you missed out on being on my show by using that. Like, no, I know they don't fucking care, and I don't expect them to care. It's just like, Have you seen the Linus Tech Tips clip where he was on stream and just out of nowhere he talked about like, oh yeah, no, when I was back early 2000s, I used to use the hard R all the time. And he didn't know that hard R was not for the R slur. It was
for the N word.
Yeah. So like everybody on set was like starting to freak out, like, what? No, don't say that.
Jesus.
They're all going into damage control mode, and then he's just like, what are you talking about? It was funny. Anyway, that's it for news tonight.
No, that's all the news we have?
That's all the news we had. There was lots of news that I just didn't feel like doing.
Yep, you know what? Fair.
I also didn't get a whole lot of tweets tonight, so it might be another early night.
True Zen coming into the chat saying, we are Charlie Kirk. I apologize, True Zen, but you seem to be oddly vertical for that to be true.
Yeah. I was gonna say something along those lines, but you got
I
it.
mean, I saw it in my
You got
stream
this.
first, so
Like, if you are Charlie Kirk, why don't you follow in his footsteps?
I feel like that's I don't want to dig a hole.
Well, you don't have to.
That said, that said, I'm not going to suggest somebody do that. I feel like that's a bit. I'm willing to do edgy jokes. I feel like that's a bit beyond what I'm willing to do.
Well, I mean, he didn't kill himself, so that's not what I'm suggesting.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
technicalities, sirs, technicalities.
Yep, that is. I was making a comment about how much those agitated me because of the Reddit stuff earlier. So you know what? Good on you, man. You did it.
Yay! Ooh, there's a notification on my toolbar in Windows that says upcoming earnings. I would like earnings.
Liz Chris says, "Does Treat Stream send notifications?" It does send them to my phone. Let me check my phone. Oh my god! Somebody sent me a treat 14 minutes ago. I have no idea when that's going to get here, but I'm assuming, Liz Chris, that was you. If so, thank you.
I set up the treat stream stuff, and the one time somebody tried to do it, it turned out all of the stores that I had set up for it stopped doing treat stream at like 8 o'clock or something ridiculously early. So like, all of the restaurants in my town don't deliver. So
Lenare says, "Get a Ouija board and debate him, bro."
Oh, we are bad people. This is why Cirrus and I do not run for public office.
I'm glad that I'm an atheist. Otherwise, I'd be worried I'm going to hell.
I'd be okay going to hell as long as I know that all the nasty people on the right are coming with me, because none of them are true Christians.
I'll just say I don't think it'd be too bad if it's like hell the way that Has Been shows it. At least we get show tunes.
Show tunes. There's porn everywhere.
Yeah.
Have you seen the second season yet?
I have seen the whole second season.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
If we spoil it, is Fennec gonna get mad at me again?
Fennec, have you finally seen the second season of Has Been? Can we?
Fennec is caught up. We can.
Okay, we can put spoiler alert. We're
spoiler
going to
alert for a show that came out 2 months ago.
Real quick. So I'm gonna be honest. I did like the first season more, but I feel like the longer the second season went, the more it was able to sell me on its premise. Because at first, like the first couple episodes of season 2,
nothing happened.
It felt like they were having to establish so much that nothing really was going on.
Yeah, no, that's what, like, it got better as it went on, because as it went on is when the things started happening. There were so many episodes of just nothing, essentially.
So by the time that they got to the point where, like, things were actually happening, and when we got the payoff for season 1, because season 1 set up a villain that they couldn't pay off, which was Vox. We got to see that, this guy's going to be a problem later, but right now the problem is Adam. Season 2 was paying off Vox and setting up Loot.
I was disappointed at the lack of Lilith.
I got about the amount of Lilith I was expecting, but I'm also like, okay, so I'm going to keep mentioning the Dresden Files because it's the book series that I'm in the middle of rereading, and it's a long series, so I've been in the middle of it for a while. But in the Dresden series, there is a very prominent character who is dead at the beginning of the series, and it's Dresden's mom. And you find out little like trickles of information about her, and it's always like 20 seconds in the middle of a mid chapter in a book, and then never brought up again until the next book. And they're all like little bits of spiderwebbed information that you put together to create the idea of this character. And I really like that. It's a little puzzle box to put together, and I think that that's neat. That's what Lilith seems to be for me. We're getting the little bits of puzzle box about who this character is, what are her motivations, how did she treat the people around her. The fucking scene when Lucifer It's like, and I have a wife. At least I think I have a wife. Like,
I did chuckle at
it's
that, yeah.
it's stuff like that that makes me not get endeared toward her as a character because we haven't seen enough of her yet, but we know that she's cut contact with Hell. We know that she has contact with Lute. We know that Lute is not happy with whatever plan that she had enacted, and we know that one of her previous plans involved a super weapon. We're getting little trickles of information about her, and I think that that's fine because it's what I've seen in other long form stories that I've also enjoyed.
I also didn't like the music as much in this one.
There were some songs that I think did much better.
Terran Ambassador, thank you for the hat.
I'm, so, okay. I think everybody can agree the best song in season 2 is Gravity.
I think so, yeah.
It's Lute's rock opera when she's having a mental breakdown about Adam.
Defying gravity.
That's wicked.
No, it's not.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Lenari says, considering it broke containment. So, like, season 2, I think season 2 has 2 songs that are better than anything in season 1, but the rest of season 2's songs are not as good as even the middling songs from season 1. I think Gravity and Brighter are like 2 of the best villain songs I've heard in a while, and I think they're better than most things in season 1. Everything else in season 2 is just kind of okay song-wise compared to what was in season 1.
I mean, I'll have to listen to them again because, like, I also didn't like my first listen to of the songs in season 1. I didn't particularly care for, and then they kind of grew on me as time went on. So, like, it not really fair for me to say the season 1 ones are all better when I haven't given season 2 the same chance that I gave season 1.
And that's fair. Maybe your perspective will change listening to them again, but I remember for my season 1 listen through, a lot of songs got earwormed in my head. For season 2, only 2 songs got earwormed in my head. And to Gravity's credit, Gravity gets a good reprise in the last episode. But I don't think I cared as much for the final song in this one. I don't know. That's kind of an issue that both season 1 and season 2 have. That, like, their best song is in, like, episode 6 instead of the final episode.
Well, I also know that you and I have very different musical tastes because one of your favorite songs from season 1 is one of my least favorite songs.
Which one?
The one between Alistair and Lucifer.
Oh yeah, Hell's Greatest Dad.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I love Hell's Greatest Dad.
Yeah, no.
Now it's stuck in my head.
I know you hate how
some
it
help from the big boss of hell himself.
Yeah, no, that one just didn't do it for me. Anyway, tweets.
Yeah, boy.
We're gonna start with Ada Lulch. Ada Lutch.
Ada. You gotta have some phlegm in there.
Like a cat.
That sounded more like the onomatopoeia that porn artists use for fellatio. I'm just like, man, is that attractive to, like, literally anybody?
No, I cannot watch that. Gotta skip past those things.
Yeah, I feel like I've skipped past that every single time that I've encountered it.
My partner actually asked me once how I deal, because she knows I have severe misophonia. So she's asked me, like, how do you watch porn then? It's like, it always starts with that. I'm like, oh, I just skip it. I don't watch that. No, that's disgusting. Dark Falcon says earworm from Borderlands 2. And then Olivia Williams says Mimsy ruined Hell's Greatest to me.
Mimsy
Cirrus agrees with that.
Yeah, I think Hell's Greatest Dad is better without Mimsy.
Yeah. I feel like whoever wrote that song just didn't know how to end it, so ended it with an interruption.
And, like, there's definitely something funny about that, but I also don't need that.
Well, also apparently I didn't find this out until well after I had watched the first season, but apparently Mimsy was like a fan favorite of the art that was made for this show long before the show was ever made. And
Okay.
it was always promised that Mimsy was going to show up at some point, and the fans were always wondering when's Mimsy going to show up. So the fact that she pops in and says, "It's me. You were all waiting for me," or whatever.
So it's an in joke.
Yeah, but that's part of what makes it not good, is that like I don't know who this person is. Like I was on Lucifer's side of that with the ending, like who? Yeah, which, you know, to its credit, that did kind of work without the knowledge of the in joke. But in jokes are just not great.
Yeah, I'm in a weird spot where that's concerned, because like I like in jokes a lot, but I also, a lot of the series that I really enjoy are super long running ones, and I see some of those in jokes as like, here's a reward for, paying attention to this thing for a long time. Like I like when Dragon,
like it's season 1 and you had to have
it's
been paying
season
attention
1
before the show was even made.
Yeah, so that's the other side of that, where like I generally like this kind of thing a lot when you reference some obscure event that happened before and there's an in joke about it. But if it's, the very beginning of the fucking show, I don't think you've earned it quite yet.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Ada. Ugh.
Oh boy.
The only rational explanation for our existence is the existence of God. Only narcissists and sociopaths will deny it, and that's because they are incapable of accepting there is something far bigger and greater than them. But logically, it's only explainable through God.
But there are already things bigger and greater than me. Like
imagine thinking so highly of yourself that you think you have it all figured out. Like, oh, someone who disagrees with me about the origin of the cosmos is a fucking idiotic, narcissistic sociopath because they didn't come to the same conclusion as me, and my conclusion is the only one that should ever be considered.
I see what we're doing now. I see. You're turning it around on them. You're doing the same thing.
But that's how it goes. Like, she believes that the all-powerful creator of the universe cares about her personally. How is that not narcissistic?
No, I agree. I'm saying, I see what you're doing here, because it's let me use all of your logic against you, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew King says, septillions of snowflakes fall annually around the world, most of which are never seen by a single creature. Each snowflake is unique. Each one proclaims the majesty of their creator.
What? I've seen snow before, and I don't remember it ever saying, "Oh my God, I love Yahweh."
Yeah, but it's because they're all unique. Which it's been a while since I looked into it, but it is. Last I remember is that it is actually unknown if every snowflake is truly unique. There are a lot of different potential combinations for the way water molecules can crystallize.
Yeah, we just don't tend to categorize every single one all the time. We just have a very comfy narrative about it.
Yeah. But also, like, this is one of those things where you want to make the argument from design. They always do, like, they always make the argument from design by comparing a designed thing to an undesigned thing. Being like, oh, clearly the designed thing is designed, therefore other things that are complicated must be designed. And the universe is complicated, therefore it's designed. But, yeah, as far as snowflakes are concerned, that's just how water molecules behave according to the laws of physics when the temperatures get to a certain point. Like, that's not God, man. That's just crystals.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things that just, it feels like the sun is a ball of fire. Where like
but the air in space burns differently is different than the air we have here. So the sun burns different.
It feels like it's close enough to a truth that people accept it, because the truth it's grasping at is most snowflakes are incredibly unique compared to one another.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no evidence that they are all exactly the same. It's very close to a truth without being a solid truth. The sun is a ball of fire. This is a technical truth, but it's really plasma.
John Helfin says healing crystals. So, fun fact, my partner was in a crystal store, and I had to meet her there for some reason. And I started talking to the proprietor of the store, and I pointed out that, like, there's nothing really special about crystals. A crystal's just a crystal. Like, every single rock is technically a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And the example, I actually use the example, like, the pavement outside is crystals. And then she was like, what? Like, no, it's not crystals. It's like sand and whatever and everything. We're like, sand, a thing that is made up of silica crystals. How about that?
You just went in there to start shit as well.
No, I didn't go in there to start shit. I went, I think that was the 12-volt battery in our car died. And I was there to jumpstart the car. I don't know. She said something that made me respond to that, and my partner was just sitting there like, "Don't start it with him. He'll get all sciencey-wyancy on you." But
you'll get all sciencey-wyancy.
That is not what she said. She's not enough of a Doctor Who fan to have phrased it that way.
Not all timey-wimey, huh?
No. We did watch the one of the Doctor Who Christmas specials the other night, because that's an annual tradition. And she spent the first half of the episode going like, "What's this got to do with Christmas? This isn't Christmas. What are you talking? This isn't Christmas." And then it was the one where they go through the portal and there's naturally occurring Christmas trees that grow their own baubles and stuff. I'm like, ha, fuck you. It is Christmas.
It's about Christmas enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bridget Gabriel says, teachers in the United States should be educating the next generation of Americans about the dangers of Islamic extremism and the benefits of Judeo-Christian values. But this actually is a First Amendment issue.
Yeah, because this is one of those things where why do you want your teachers in charge of religious education? Why is that a thing that you want or need? Yeah, that's a thing that you should desperately not want.
The fact that you are very much against Islamic extremism or whatever says to me that you are probably not comfortable with a Muslim teacher teaching your kids about the truth of Muhammad being the prophet of Allah. So,
look, I was just really compelled about the story where he was citing the Quran while his ear was getting filled with Aisha's period blood.
Sorry, I zoned out for a second there. What kind of period blood?
Aisha's period blood, his first wife. There's a story about how
Aisha. Oh yeah. Okay. You're talking about okay. Maybe I zoned out for slightly longer than 1 second.
Possibly.
Yeah, but my point is...
Yeah, I was trying to make a deadpan joke about how that's really fucking creepy, but now I've got to explain the joke. It's really fucking creepy because she's 9.
I did the explain the joke thing to you by accident.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm a little. I wish I paid more attention to you, Cyrus.
I'm glad you don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, public school teachers should not be teaching religion because they're public school teachers, and that's a separation of church and state issue, which is the First Amendment. So, like, all these people complaining about being oppressed by, like, not given their First Amendment rights. Now, this actually is a First Amendment issue. You can't have teachers doing that. So, no. Chris.
No, I'm not here.
So Chris posted the AI McDonald's commercial, and then this is him commenting on McDonald's taking it down, saying, "This is absolutely devastating for the AI artists who put their time and effort into creating this."
What time? What time and effort? No, the fuck you didn't.
They had to refine their prompts, Cyrus.
You had to refine fuck
off.
They
had to find the right thing to type to make the art happen.
Coca-Cola ad shit again.
This was McDonald's.
I know this one was McDonald's. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
Yes, it was AI generated, but there were still real people behind it making creative decisions, refining prompts, and crafting the final piece, not to mention the artist that the AI model stole from. They didn't get paid for it, though, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
The backlash it got is so intense, the video was completely pulled. Oh, God,
Good. Fucking good.
I care about this for some reason. It shows how much resistance there is to AI in creative spaces. Yeah, because that's the one place it doesn't fucking belong.
Yeah, the actual artists are in the room with us. There's Stoff, there's Piper.
Yeah, don't tell Stoff that, there's a room.
Who else has done art that's in the chat right now?
There's Will Shart. There's
Jazz has done some art, haven't they?
Looking just in my chat, there's Axo, there's Will Shart. I know there's Jet Fatigue. Let's see here. Who else is in there?
Everyone who's drawn my penis and or vagina, put your hand up.
Yep, there's Pernia. Damn it, Growlithe, you're right. It is 10 o'clock. Come on.
No, it's not. It's 9:44.
It's close enough. She can't read a clock.
She used to read a clock a whole lot better than this.
Come on, girl.
Used to be every day at 10 o'clock, right on the dot, was Growlithe. Jassa says, I have drawn one thing for Cirrus. What is that one thing? I want to know. Duct Tape Jake does art. So yeah, the artists are in the room with us. Not the AI artists, because that's not doing art. That's just stealing art. But the actual artists. Oh, in MS Paint. You know what? You can do some good stuff in MS Paint. I'm assuming that you're pointing out that your art was not actually great, and that's why you're saying MS Paint, but I have seen people do impressive things with Paint. Sean says it's only 6:44, so you're on the West Coast then? Yeah, somewhere on the West Coast. Oh yeah, Smacko. I remember Smacko. Smacko, Smacko. Yeah, no, there's lots of artists in our little community. And I know that because they keep drawing me. And then Cirrus gets mad at what they draw. And I'm just like, ha, they made Cirrus mad. So while Cirrus is gone, let's figure out something to draw to make Cirrus mad. Everybody needs to draw it and send it to his Discord.
I just got back. What the fuck do you need people to draw?
Nothing. We hadn't actually decided on anything.
I'm glad you didn't. Probably.
Okay, well, I was just trying to support artists. Mm-hmm. So the backlash got so intense that the video was completely pulled. Good. Really shows how much resistance there still is to AI in creative spaces, with good reason. Which makes me wonder why all these AI companies are still shoving it down everybody's throats. Like,
it's a fetish thing.
Like, it's the fucking... These people are all like free market proponents who are like, oh, we need to free market, unfettered capitalism. And it's like, okay, but like the free market is supposed to be you make a product that people want, therefore people buy it.
The free market decided they didn't like this thing.
Yeah, free market says no. AI fucking sucks. Like, get good or go home, and they're not getting good. So now they're like, hey, government, give us money, give us corporate socialism, because we're too big to fail. We're driving the GDP right now. We're making the price of computer components so expensive that nobody can upgrade their computers anymore, and like gigantic names in the computer industry are now leaving the consumer market so that they can sell to AI data centers and whatnot.
Yeah, did you know that there's a 10-week backlog on RAM right now?
I'm not surprised. I did not know that, but that makes sense.
That's yeah, a friend of mine is trying to upgrade his computer and found that out recently, and that's
yeah, no, I have 32 gigs of DDR4, and I with current pricing, looks like I'm going to continue to have 32 gigs of DDR4 for the foreseeable future. But like, I don't know, my computer's fine. I don't need to upgrade anything, thankfully. But like, I want this bubble to pop. Like, it's gonna suck when it pops, but like the longer it goes on without popping, the worse it's going to be. So I hope it pops sooner rather than later. And like there have been companies that like there are some companies that have shown some restraint where they're not like pouring everything into the AI data center craze that's happening right now when they could be. So the fact that they're not suggests that they are starting to see that like, oh, this is a bit of a bubble. So like I don't want to like do a bunch of retooling in the factories to make things that are not going to be wanted a year from now.
Dorito just said I have 64 gigs of DDR5 that I spent 264. The current price for the
That's
same
so
sticks
cheap.
right now
That's
is
so cheap.
$999.
I was gonna say, like, man, flip that shit. You don't need a 64, sell 32 of it.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, next up. So Ed Krasenstein posted his holiday tree, and then Dale Partridge zoomed in and circled a menorah and was like, I wonder why he called it a holiday tree.
Oh my god.
Because there's more than one holiday this time of year, you motherfucker.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
Why do you say...
Like,
man, the war on Christmas stuff is wild to me because that was also a Henry Ford invention.
was it? That doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah. So I believe he made a comment about how American Jewry was fucking with Christmas.
That would not surprise me at all. But like, I went to Ed's original post, and like so many of the responses were people being like, "Oh, it's not a holiday tree; it's a Christmas tree." Like, fuck you. Do you know what kind of an asshole you look like? Like, you know, Christmas is a holiday, right? You know, the word holiday is literally holy day, right?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of holy days for a bunch of other religions, but erasing all the other religions is exactly what you would do.
Like, fuck your fucking faces, you fucking thin-skinned losers. You can't handle the existence of holidays other than your own. Then just stay out of public life. You can still like the tree aesthetic and still celebrate other holidays. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, like if we actually look at his little tree here, my understanding is that most Jewish homes that do a Christmas tree or a holiday tree, it'll be in like Hanukkah colors. So it'll be like all blue and white and stuff. As opposed to, you know, I mean, there is some blue in there, but that just looks like a normal Christmas tree to me.
Meonin Stankfoot, thank you for resubscribing. Said they have two 48 gig DDR5 sticks in their PC. They built it about a year and a half ago. Then you built it at a good time.
That was a really good time. Yeah. I have an RTX 3070, a Ryzen 7 4th gen. It's getting a little dated right now. It was good at the time, and it's still good. That's the thing. If you watch too much tech stuff, like too many tech YouTubers, it feels like you're supposed to upgrade your GPU like every 2 years. You're supposed to upgrade your CPU every couple of years as well. But it's like, I have not experienced any performance issues on these cards that are 6 or 7 years old at this point. I think. I don't know. When did the 30 series cards come out?
30 series, that's 2019?
Yeah, so that's like 5 years. And I mean, will I be able to run the latest game at 4K? No. But I play Silksong. It's fine.
I play World of Warcraft, RuneScape, and a Nintendo Switch. So
also, here's another thing I'm going to say. I'm going to become a Linux shill. If you don't use software that is like impossible to get running in Linux. Like I use Adobe for some reason still, um, and you just can't do that in Linux in any way, shape, or form. So I still need a dual boot, but yeah, when I'm not using Adobe stuff, I'm just in Linux, and it's great. It's so much better than Windows. Like it like within no time, it got to the point where like when I'm booting my PC, if I've been in Windows for a little while, when I go back to Linux, it feels like I'm coming home. Like this is the way it should be. And it was so easy to set up, and I got used to it so quickly. And like if most of what you do is like word processing and browsing and shit, Linux is great. There is some specialized stuff like the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck can work. It's a little bit finicky, and the software for it isn't as nice as the official Windows software, but it works. My Go XLR does not work properly with that, so like I don't know. It's not as nice as I would like it, but I'm using Linux Mint. But like I've had to do minimal amount of like fiddling with the command line. And even what I have done, I didn't have to do. I could have done that in other ways. So like, give it a try, because Windows is getting to be shit. And Microsoft has said that they're using AI to do like 30% of their code. And that might be why there have been so many nasty bugs and errors showing up in Windows with recent updates.
Does it fucking sucks?
Yeah. So like just use Linux. It's so much better.
Remember, anything to cut costs. Anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Including going to the free open source operating system.
Yup. Superstorm says, with prices, honestly, Steambox seems like the only affordable option. I think it's really interesting that with all of this going on, Steam's just like, what if we made you a gaming PC for a few $100s?
How much is the Steambox?
Steambox is going to be, I believe, 600 on release.
So here's the crazy thing about that, is that back when I first got into gaming, we're talking 90s, like N64 era.
Yeah.
The consoles were like $200, and if you wanted a computer, it was going to be at least 600.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a computer that could game, it would be at least 1,000. So, given that, given that context, the Steam, whatever the fuck it's called,
Steambox.
Yeah, sure. That is a little on the pricey side, but given that all the other consoles have basically become the same price, like what's the Switch 2?
Switch 2 is $450.
Yeah. PS5, is it PS5 now, or have they come out with the 6 yet?
It's PS5.
And it's about 500, right?
500 to 600.
Yeah. So like, it's basically the same price as the consoles. I don't know. But also, it's because of Steam that Linux is actually being like it's pretty good for gaming now. Like most of the games will run fine because they did the Steam Deck thing, and in order to do that, they had to create like the compatibility layer or whatever. I don't understand how it works. I just know that it does. Like I can play Silksong on Windows or on Linux, and my save files transfer between the two. So it's fine. So yeah, I highly recommend Linux. Switch to Linux. I still stream on Windows, and I still edit my videos on Windows. But that's it. Everything else I do in Linux.
Storm says the PS5 got a price increase. It's $550 now. Yeah, it's about what I'd expect. What's interesting is that like so consoles are considered loss leaders for the most part for most companies now, because the PS3 was $600 when I was in high school, and we haven't seen an inflation on that price. Now, granted, that price was exorbitant as fuck when it came out, but the fact that we don't see those prices anymore, I think is a good sign.
They just make up for it by charging $80 for a game.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm not super thrilled
And then
about.
fucking Team Cherry shows up with a $20 masterpiece. Although I do dislike how Team Cherry is always in the news as being like, oh, this team of 3 people has created a game that is like undercutting the whole industry.
When there's much more
than
that.
Just read the fucking credits. The credits are long on that game. Like, it's not as long as a AAA title, but there's a lot more than 3 people in those credits. And they're not all just voice actors. Because, like, I could understand how you could say 3 people made the game if it was those 3 people and the voice actors. But it's not. There's play testers, there's debuggers, there's... I don't even fucking know what the things are. Like, there's so many more people than just the 3 of them. Yes, they're an indie studio. Yes, they are small compared to AAA stuff. But stop saying it's 3 people. It was a whole team of people.
Yeah. Yeah. That said,
why does it always tell me Hats Off is out of stock? I don't know. Is it out of stock for points a thing? Or do I have a limit on that I'm not aware of?
I will say I do wish that games were more affordable. Thankfully, my gaming has been subsidized by Magic the Gathering. So my
there's a hat
the card shop that I go to, the card shop that I go to all the time actually sells video games, and they get video games new on release. So the last 2 new games I've bought, I just bought with my tournament winnings.
Nice.
So I'm happy that my trading card habit has subsidized my video game habit.
Nice. Whatever works. Okay. Elon retweeted a guy who said it's deeply weird that the absolute top priority for a lot of Americans and European politicians is bringing millions of unvetted third world immigrants. Bringing in millions of unvetted third world immigrants. That is not the priority. The priority is making sure human beings get treated like human beings.
Yeah,
and you guys see that as us inviting
thing.
them all in for free without vetting them. It's like, no, we just want them to have human rights. And then he says, once you understand the incentive, the reason for the behavior becomes obvious. They are importing left-wing voting bloc that depends on government handouts. So I didn't actually read the rest of this tweet before I screenshotted it. I was just like,
yeah,
it's interesting that he's talking about once you understand the incentive, the reason for the behavior becomes obvious. Because as a billionaire who's currently enjoying massive tax breaks under the Trump administration, now that I understand that incentive, his behavior seems to make a lot more sense. Just saying.
The incentive to be an asshole to all of us.
Yeah. And then he goes on to talk about Ilhan Omar and her Somali voting bloc in Minnesota, in an area which used to be primarily Nordic German.
Why does the fucking racial makeup matter so much?
Well, Ilhan Omar wouldn't have been elected if there weren't so many Somali Americans there.
I don't give a fuck who the Somali Americans are.
Guess what? Somali Americans deserve representation too.
God, your voice cracked so much when you did that. That was hilarious.
I mean, I was kind of doing it on purpose.
It didn't make it not hilarious.
Okay. Yay, I did a funny on purpose.
You did. Yay.
It's always fun when that happens. Importing voters is a certain path to a single-party supermajority, and it has... They already have a single-party supermajority, kind of. Not supermajority in the sense that they have over 60%, but like they have the trifecta.
That it's easier to get your votes in with how many they do have.
And they still don't manage to do anything. Anything productive, anyway. They can break shit, but that's about all they can do. Yeah.
Storm says, fingers crossed for the Banjo 1, 2, and Nuts and Bolts recompile coming soon. I am happy that the Banjo recompile is going to be happening. I'm hoping that it ends up being a gateway to some decent modding.
I just can't wait for the modding community behind Silksong to get a mod installer working. There's this
Yeah.
whole using BepInEx to like download stuff and put it in the correct folder and then fiddle around with menus in the game. Like, that's a lot of effort. I'd rather just click the install button. But, I mean,
Yeah.
Hollow Knight was out for a long time before Silksong came out, so like they had a lot of time to develop tools like that. But
Terranabaster says Nuts and Bolts re-release. Neat. Yeah, it'll be so cool for the 3 fans of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
yeah, I am not one of those. Next up, we've got Smash JT, who says, "I asked ChatGPT to make her beautiful. Maybe this is all. Maybe this is all studios need to start doing. Need to start doing if they want sales and avoid layoffs." Okay, the studios don't want to avoid layoffs. They want more layoffs because more layoffs equals more money for them.
Yeah, you're confusing how the game industry functions. It is largely a industry that uses freelance work to the point where it basically abuses them.
Mm-hmm. But also like the character that ChatGPT spat out, like she's just so generic, which of course it is because it's an AI created thing. They can only do generic because they can't do unique and new. So it's just like this is a compilation of images that were tagged with beautiful woman that looks somewhat like the Aloy character. And it's like, okay, it's a generic, you turned her generic. But like, I don't know about you, but when I'm like, I've played Horizon Zero Dawn. There's nothing sexual about that game. Why do you need the character to be sexy?
I need to be able to fap to it.
Like, I haven't gotten through the whole thing. Maybe there is a romance or something in it later. I don't know. But like, you're just like in the first game, Aloy, like I got the impression that Aloy is basically a kid. So the fact that they want the kid to be sexy is big time yikes to me. I'm sorry on your timing on there, duct tape Jake. But yeah, no, like it's not like that is not a game that I have ever played thinking this character should be sexy.
I'll say this: if I'm playing a game for a long time, if the character is sexy, then that's fine. That's fantastic. Hell yeah, I might look up porn of them later. But it's not a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest, when you make, because there was an era of gaming where every character who was female, for the most part, was made that way. That was just how they were built. It was, if I'm going to make a character, I'm going to make them, appeal to the male gaze as much as possible. And you know what? I think you can tell from my model. I really do like that style of artwork. I think it's fantastic.
I need to make you cover up a little.
But God damn it. But I don't need everything to be that. I don't need everything to have that. I think having a lot of games that do not lean into that means that the ones that do lean into that stick out more. And you know what? If not having every character in Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur be dressed like a skank means that when I play Dead or Alive, I appreciate the jiggle physics that much more, then cool.
Yeah, no, like I like butts. I like looking at butts. If I'm playing a game that's in the third person perspective and I can see the character's butt, I like the butt to look nice. But like if it doesn't look nice, it doesn't matter. Like I've brought up Silksong several times already. I've been playing through Silksong. You know what Hornet is not? Sexy.
You could make them that way. It's
oh
doable.
No, she has been made that way.
Yeah.
Grandmother Silk though, ooh. She's a fine specimen. There is much artwork to that point.
A fine specimen for my collection.
Have you seen Grandmother Silk?
I have not. I'm just
Okay.
quoting General Grievous.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you Grandmother Silk. That is Grandmother Silk. It was very easy for the artist to turn that sexy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's not hard at all.
yeah. Well, I mean, it is, and that's the point.
Ah,
Yeah.
I get it. It's funny because...
It's funny because penis. Penises
Yeah.
are funny.
Oh, penises are hilarious.
That's the thing with my partner. Anytime I walk into the room naked, she just looks at me and laughs and says, "Penises are so weird." Every time. Just like, I'm not sure that that's the reaction that I appreciate from my sexual partner, but I'll take it. I can't disagree with it because it's true.
Yeah, penises are weird, but you know what? That's fine.
They get the job done.
That is what they're there for. Yes.
All right. Wendell says, top 3 questions atheism can't answer. Why is there something rather than nothing? I don't know, but there is. So deal with it.
I don't know and I don't care. Next.
Why does objective morality exist if we're just cosmic accidents? It doesn't.
Because we made it up.
Well, it doesn't. It's not objective. It's subjective.
Even the concept of objective morality we made up, though.
Sure.
So we made it all up.
It's making it subjective.
I'm also, I generally think that when somebody says objective morality, I know that, like, because of Christians, we almost always think in terms of this is like an unshakable truth that is inherent to the fabric of the cosmos. But like the word really just means that there is an object that is being referenced.
Mm-hmm.
As that's all it means.
Well, not object per se, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
There is a thing that all of the morals are contingent on, and that thing is generally unchanging. And that is what that word means.
Sure. And how do you get meaning in life? By making it as good as possible for as many people as possible.
God fucking damn it, Terran Ambassador. Of course you do an on a fucking Wendell tweet. It's not quite a Kevin Sorbo tweet, but you know.
Fucking Wendell Uwu.
Jesus Christ. At least old Gus on the right side of the history. Thank you for bringing up your owl.
The hat's gone. I'm not bending over for that. Yeah. So we answered all 3 of the questions.
Yeah, I thought there were going to be more than that.
Well, I mean, one of the answers is I don't know, so I guess you could quibble on whether or not that counts as an answer, but I'd say it does. We know at least as much about it as Wendell does. Although my favorite thing about the why is there something rather than nothing is that creationists will never actually, like, they will complain that the cosmological models don't actually deal with a nothing in the way they define nothing, but they also refuse to deal with that sort of nothing. Because they'll say something can't come from nothing because you can't, like, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So you can't get that from nothing. Like, okay, so you're saying the laws of physics exist in this nothing because that is a law of physics. That's why it can't happen, because it's a law of physics. And when we pull out the Stephen Hawking quote saying that because there are laws such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing, creationists will then turn around and be like, aha, the law of gravity is something, so that can't exist in a nothing. Therefore, you don't actually have the universe coming from nothing. So my thing is, if there actually was nothing and that nothing did not include the laws of physics, there's no laws of physics, what's there stopping something from coming from nothing?
God.
No, there's literally nothing why can something come from nothing? That doesn't, that breaks the laws of physics. Okay, well, we didn't have the laws of physics before the something came from nothing. So that's fine. Agamotto has returned.
No. Hello.
Hi, Agamotto.
How are you doing? Welcome here. Also, Calendar, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an again, better than that thing that he just soundboarded.
I think that one was me.
Oh,
Oh, Wendell was the last one, as he so often is because his name starts with a W.
I don't think Wendell's W worthy. I don't think if I was Wendell, I would consider any of my existence a W. Being perfectly honest with
he
you.
He ends with an L.
It's true. It's true.
This is the reason why we have the crystalline entity people. Are we talking about the crystalline entity from Star Trek? Yes, I see you making me wet myself, Stoff. I'm concerned that you keep phrasing it that way because you're the one that does the art.
Whomst? The crystalline entities, not Stoff. I know who Stoff is.
Yeah, no, the crystalline entity is a giant crystal in Star Trek that kills people.
Oh.
It's a very powerful entity, and it eats your life force or something. I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen those episodes.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I always phrase it that way. Okay, but that still makes me nervous because of the art that I've seen from you. SW is greater than ST. Star Wars is greater than Star Trek. It depends. They each fulfill a slightly different niche. It also depends on what Star Trek we're referencing. Is Star War is Star and which Star Trek was referencing is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show better than Next Generation? Abso-fucking-lutely not.
I do think the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is really good, though.
I don't. It lost me in the episode. Like, I will be very forgiving for things that tickle my nostalgia bone, even though I know that that's what they're doing. Like, I'll look back on it later and be like, that actually wasn't that good, but I'll enjoy it in the moment. But the Obi-Wan Kenobi show lost me the moment that little Princess Leia was running away from the big guards, and they were very clearly purposefully not catching up to her. As like, I actually laughed in what was supposed to be a tense moment because, like, clearly the adult chasing this child was letting the child get away, but in the show I'm supposed to be believing that they are trying their best to get her. Like, no, that's ridiculous. And it did not get better. There was, like, the lightsaber fight between Darth Vader and Kenobi was cool, even though it did completely break canon and, like, make the line about how when I left you, I was but the learner, now I am the master. That doesn't make any sense anymore because that's, like, the last time they saw each other was no longer that scenario.
Wait, no, it still makes sense, though, because when he, per the show, when he engaged in his fight with Kenobi, he was still learning under the tutelage of Sidious.
You're Redditing it.
I'm not, though. Like, that's not even a semantic thing.
Yeah, no, it's a semantic thing.
That's not even a semantic thing. He was still
when you said when I left
you. Was he a learner? He didn't say specifically that he needed to be learning from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but that was very heavily implied by the fucking context of the movie.
Yeah,
jackass.
I'm not denying that. Again, I think this is just I've seen a lot of shows and read a lot of books that are part of long-running series where even if an author didn't mean something in the exact moment when it was being written, that being retconned or changed or motivations changing later doesn't take away from that. Like, famously, all of Dragon Ball Z, or all of Dragon Ball in general, from start to finish, was written by the seat of the pants of the author. He had no idea what was happening in episode 90 when he was writing episode 3. And yet he would reference stuff and say, like, oh, it was always important back then, because it still makes for good storytelling in the end.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But I don't know. I didn't like that. It was a cool fight.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it undermined the original. Like I don't feel like that explanation really works.
Senshini says, "Did Vader learn under Sidious?" Yes, objectively, he was a Sith Lord. The rule of two says that Sith Lords always have an apprentice. He was the apprentice learning under Palpatine.
Yeah, okay, but that doesn't work either then, because there's always two, a master and an apprentice, which means that Vader is still the apprentice in the original trilogy. So when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am still the learner.
So once you get to a certain point in every, granted, hold that thought. Food just came. I'm gonna go grab it, but I have a point from the Darth Bane from the Darth Bane trilogy now.
You lost the debate, and now you're running away to your food. So what are we gonna draw and send to Cyrus's Discord to make him mad? Everybody needs to draw something. Draw Cyrus as a food. Draw Cyrus making his food come. That's what y'all need to do. Doesn't matter if you're bad at art. Do it in MS Paint if you have to, Fennec, and then send it to his Discord. Him making his food come. What did I do? You mentioned paint earlier. Was that you? Or am I getting you confused with Jassa? I don't know why, but sometimes you guys flip in my head. That was Jassa. Okay. Well, Fennec, you draw something too. Everybody do your best drawing of Cyrus making food come. And send it to his Discord. Yep.
Time for us to have a conversation about the Sith.
Sure.
All right. So, I'm going to clarify this first. Have you read any of the Star Wars books?
I've read a couple of the X-Wing series, and I've read the Han Solo trilogy.
Okay. So, you've not read any of the books from the Sith perspective then, right?
No.
Okay. I've read a lot of the books from the Sith perspective. Darth Bane, there's a bunch of ones for like how Vader operated when he first became Vader. There's a whole book going into like how Sidious purposefully fucked up his suit so that he would always be in more pain because that helps you channel the dark side. Okay, so thing with how the Sith operate. There are two major points here for why Vader would not think that he is the apprentice by the time of New Hope. Point one, Sith arrogance. Usually after about 5 or 10 years under the tutelage of a Sith Lord, a Sith will still technically be an apprentice, will still call their master, but they are actively scheming to overthrow them. In their mind, they are no longer a learner. This is what we see with Darth Reign. This is what we saw in all the new material with Darth Maul in the Clone Wars series. This is actually what we see in I know that it's no longer technically canon, but in Star Wars The Force Unleashed, this is the logic that Darth Vader uses when he gets Starkiller as his apprentice, is that this is my apprentice now because my master's time is done. I will use this apprentice to overthrow them. I'm the master now, but I have to keep lying to my master. That's a really common trope for a lot of Sith across a bunch of Star Wars stuff. But also, the other side of this, in the Darth Plagueis novel, Sidious is told by Plagueis directly that the rule of two is no longer applies to them because it is no longer necessary. The point of the rule of two, when Bane put it into being, was so that the Sith would stop killing each other and they would constantly birth new and more powerful Sith, and only ever more powerful ones, not like a bunch of apprentices teaming up against their master and thinning out how much power they actually had. So Plagueis described to Sidious specifically, the rule of two is over. This is no longer how our order will function because we no longer need it. We are strong enough now as an order. We are at the peak of our power. This is no longer something we need. We've already won. Sidious did end up killing Plagueis because, again, he's still a fucking Sith, and Plagueis made Sidious kill his entire family. He had resentment over that. It's a good book. I'd go read it. But that same philosophy about the rule of two was once our way, but now we are different, the Sith are reborn, yada, yada, yada. That is the same type of rhetoric that Sidious was feeding Vader when it came time for him to have an apprentice. And when Plagueis gave that spiel to Sidious, it was because Plagueis wanted to cement his his power without ever having to worry about his apprentice coming to kill him. Same reason Sidious did it. The reason that Sidious went and tried to gain immortality. We saw it in the books. We saw it in Fallen Empire. We saw it in the sequel trilogy when they started pulling from Legends canon to give, Palpatine return bullshit. The new Sith. Yeah, somehow Palpatine returned. The new Sith use alchemy and the Force to try to maintain power as long as possible instead of passing it down to their apprentice. The Bane line lasted for about 1,000 years. The current Sith try to hold on to power as long as possible. So much so that during the Bane line, there are 3 Sith that learned immortality. One was Bane. One was not a Sith, he was a dark Jedi, but I can't remember his name. But each of those people, when they did, if a Sith Master was over them or a Sith Apprentice was under them, they would directly spit in their face for violating the rule of 2. You're not supposed to be immortal, you're supposed to be something I can take down, because that is what makes the Sith stronger. We atrophy if you gain immortality. Again, Sidious gained immortality. He wanted to be that. He spat in the eye. He spat in the eye of the rule of 2. By the time Vader was in New Hope, he had been given propaganda from Sidious that the rule of 2 no longer applied, and every Sith after about 5 or 10 years stops calling themselves an apprentice in their own fucking head. I've read a lot of Star Wars books and I really like this shit.
Yeah, I still don't think it really fits.
Okay.
That's I enjoy expanded universe stuff. Sure, I enjoy that sort of thing. But when it gets to a point where you are expected to know all these different details from all these different books in order to make a thing make sense, no, most people aren't going to do that. You have a movie series. Most people aren't going to read a bunch of the surrounding books. So if it doesn't make sense just from the movie's perspective, then it doesn't make sense. It's a plot hole.
I can understand that perspective. To a degree, I agree with that perspective.
And simultaneously, I can enjoy the books and be like, oh, so this is how they deal with that apparent plot hole. Cool. But for me, the expanded, and this is one of the things that I've always hated about Marvel movies, is I feel like I'm missing something if I haven't watched all of them.
Mm-hmm. Tal, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. I appreciate it. I can understand that frustration. You generally want a story to be maybe not self-contained, but you want a story to be self-explanatory. You read the story, you should understand enough about the story from, the fucking story.
Yeah.
I get that. I really do.
Agamotto wants to know where Revan fits. Revan?
Where Revan fits. So Revan is currently sitting in between canon and non-canon. So Revan has all the same problems that Darth Bane has right now, where we know the character is canon because they are referenced by current canon characters. We know that Bane is referenced by canon characters. We actively see Plagueis in Acolyte. We know Plagueis is referenced in Episode 3. We know that Revan is referenced a handful of times as well. But the actual details about who they are considered lost to the annals of time. That's the way that current Disney canon is handling characters like Bane and Revan that are canon, but the books that were written about them have not been fully recanonized. Also, Revan always existed in a weird spot to begin with, because Revan's the character that you play as in KOTOR. So several of Revan's decisions, because it's a BioWare game, several of Revan's decisions in there can be considered canon or non-canon decisions, because you got to choose your own path. The way that the books handled Revan later was that they told this story of a person who rubber banded from the light side to the dark side to a gray Jedi in order to accommodate all the different ways that a player could have possibly played that game, so that Revan could be a character who became an NPC later in the MMO. But yeah, he's currently considered a canon character, but the details of his life are not currently canon.
Yeah, so I was going to make a joke about not being able to understand Darth Bane through the mask, but then I realized this is Star Wars we're talking about, so there's a 30% chance that he does wear a mask that you can't understand him through.
You know what's funny? There's a reason that happens too.
In
So-
Batman?
I'm in Star Wars. Like
why
when you say
everybody has a mask?
there's an so the reason that Sith generally end up, especially older Sith, end up wearing masks and stuff like that is because the light side of the Force is really good at healing. The dark side of the Force is generally effectively rotting you from within. It's what causes the jaundice effect that you see for people who use Force lightning so much. The Sith generally have to be depicted as having more handicaps on themselves because they can't be healed by the light side. They are actively, their bodies are actively not healing the way that they should anymore. This is one of the reasons why Vader's always in the suit. He can never be fully healed from it, even with Bacta. In the Star Wars MMO, I think it's not Darth Scourge, but there's a handful of Sith in there that have masks and accoutrement that is all effectively handicaps, equivalents of wheelchairs for them because their bodies simply won't fucking heal. Terrence says, tell him about Darth Nihilus, the Planet Eater. Nihilus is the Planet Eater, right?
I don't know.
Because there's technically two Planet Eaters in Star Wars. There's Nihilus, who's the Planet Eater from KOTOR, and then there's the Outer Rim Emperor from the MMO. They both ate planets, but they did it in different ways. Outer Rim Emperor did it by convincing all the Sith on a planet to do a ritual that consumed the planet, and then Nihilus was just a wound in the Force that ate planets.
Nihilith is a boss in Silksong.
And that's where our nerdisms converge.
All right. I think we're pretty much done. Unless you like, Cyrus, if you want to rant about Star Wars more, you can do that on your own channel. Are you streaming after this?
God damn it. Sylvie, why did you donate $100 to the fucking stream? God damn it. Now we have to end on an
That's an excellent place to end it. Good night.
No, it's